I can't really sit back and enjoy it as much because I've got a big job to do. We've got a big job to do as a team.
Maisie, this is a pretty exciting week in the context of your career, but I want to start with Saturday night's game first. Gorney was the hero, got all the credit. You drifted forward right at that last second. Did you think you were a chance?
I thought it was a huge chance. Hawkins came to me, obviously, because he saw me running forward, and then Blixarves also sort of caught me coming to the goal square, and then I saw Gorney was like not really on anyone. So I was like, oh yeah, that's a ballsy move, leaving the tallest man on the field there. But I was stoked. Had that little childhood memory of trying to maybe kick the winning goal, but I'm actually stoked it wasn't me, and the big fella got some redemption.
It was a great night. Interesting battle for the defenders in particular. You were on Hawkins. Obviously tough when centre clearances are coming in one after another in the second term. How did you find the whole sort of battle?
Oh, yeah. It was really frustrating in the second quarter. We did lose a few centre clearances, but also as defenders, we were losing our contest in the back 50, which has been a strength of ours. So, that was frustrating. I feel their key forwards kick goals in the second, and if you have the star players like that up and about, it's hard to stop them. So I was just really proud of how we responded after half-time, and was able to quell their influence after that. But I think they maybe only kicked a couple goals after half-time. So it's what good players do. You give them a sniff, they're going to kick some goals on you, and every team has a big superstar forward, and it's very important that, I think, for our young backline to see, we can be under the pump a bit in a quarter or maybe a patch of the quarter, but we got 3 other quarters to respond.
The backline has changed a little bit in recent weeks. Joel Smith's come in, Bowie. How are you finding that dynamic?
Yeah, it's a bit different, obviously, because we had a pretty stable backline most of the year. So little Bowser comes in, very, very clean and smart footballer for a young guy. It's quite impressive. And Joel Smith is an athletic freak. You can put him on a tall, put him on a small, and he's getting better every week. He's had a pretty interrupted year in pre-season with all these little weird injuries like fingers and all this stuff. So I'm stoked for him to be getting some time.
In terms of the result, we were obviously down by 44 points at one stage. Is it another one where you think we really can win from any situation? Just take confidence from that?
Yeah, well, we proved that on the weekend, but we were in this position against Brisbane. We went in at half-time and we weren't playing our best footy, and they kicked goals. And you know what? Their key forwards were kicking goals in the second. So it was pretty identical. So our maturity and reset at half-time go, you know what? Probably won't win this game, but let's create some good habits and display some good behaviours that we can take into the finals. And before you know it, the scoreboard started getting closer and closer, and then we thought, hey, we're a chance of winning this. So it just proves you. I didn't know it was 44 points, but it did feel like that. You're never really out of the game.
The spirit was certainly up afterwards. Is that belief something you can just take into next week, a bit of momentum?
Yeah, I reckon. It can only be a good thing. It was pretty exciting. The emotional roller coaster. Half time was grim. Allowing Geelong to kick 7 or 8 goals, and then to have the feeling of post game of actually winning, it was quite amazing. The human body, responds quite weird to that. Being so flat and down, and then being so high in the space of an hour. So I was stoked.
Obviously, Brisbane up next. No Hipwood this time around. How do you see their forward line to match up against? Hipwood is obviously a big loss for them, but they still have a really, really impressive forward line. Lincoln McCarthy and Charlie Cameron still play like key forwards sometimes, take big marks. Obviously, Joey Danaher has been a great recruit for Brisbane. Mick Stay. They've got guys like Zach Bailey and Hugh McCluggage and that who drift forward and kick goals. So certainly have our hands full. It is going to be your first final. You've played 168 games. How hungry are you for it?
Man, I'm so stoked and excited, nervous, because it's been 11 years. Hoping that one day I'll play in a final. Sort of feels weird, to be honest. It's only Monday, so I guess it will start to kick in. But I was just hoping I didn't get injured on the weekend, because I just thought something like that was going to happen to me on the eve of my first final. But I'm stoked, and hopefully there's more to come.
You had a rest the week before. Is that just getting your body right so you're in perfect condition?
Yeah,
I mean, I play pretty much every minute of every game. I rarely get a rest, so I just struggled to recover from the West Coast game with all the travel and stuff. So it was nice of the coaching staff to give me a bit of a freshen up. And given there's no bye now, which is a good thing for you mentally, I think, like you don't have another week to wait, we get straight into it. But physically, I feel really good.
You did come to Melbourne with the hope to play in these big games. Is it a bit of a relief now that it's here?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always hungry, and I'm always like, I want to, get the next win and get the next final wins and win a premiership. So I can't really sit back and enjoy it as much because I've got a big job to do, and we've got a big job to do as a team. So, but it is nice to, like, I suppose, see that we've finished the season on top of the ladder, and now we got seen a finals bracket, little things like that. So on Instagram, you see the finals bracket. I've never been involved in that. Like, I've never really taken notice of those because I'm usually in my off season by then. So. No, I am very, very grateful, and like you said, it's coming down. This is what I came here for. I just wish we would be able to play at our first home final at the G in front of our fans. That would just really top it all off.
It is a big opportunity. Good players play well in big games. Is that something you're just looking forward to, getting the chance to actually impact when it really matters?
Yeah, I mean, all eyes are watching. It's why we do this, I suppose. Everyone wants to win a flag and play in finals. So I'll certainly have my hands full with Danaher, no doubt. But playing on one of the best players in the league and on the biggest stage is it's a dream come true.
You are one of the more competitive people I've probably met, Lever as well. How desperate is this group just to not only be content with finishing top of the ladder, but to go all the way?
Yeah, I think even like a little snippet of that was on the weekend. Like, we could have, I suppose, rolled over and copped that loss and got ready for the finals, but the boys wanted to win. At half time, they were just talking about, we'll come back and we'll win this. And I was like, it's very refreshing to hear that from a young group. A young group can usually drop their heads or probably look to next week. Those sort of things come into play, but not this group. They're desperate, and I think the guys like Petraka and Oliver and Gawn and Salem, all the star players, they're the ones who are desperate, and I suppose that just filters throughout the whole group.
It is an exciting time. Looking forward to seeing you out there.
Thanks, Benny.